Why does the snake appear in every myth? In Africa, it holds up the world. In India, it guards the gods. In Eden, it whispers. This is no coincidence. There's a creature that slips quietly through the stories of almost every people on earth. It doesn't roar like the lion or soar like the eagle. It doesn't build homes or hunt in packs. It moves in silence. It watches, waits, and it whispers. The serpent sometimes feared, sometimes worshipped, but never ignored. In the oldest stories we know, the snake is already there. In Eden, it slithers beside the tree of knowledge, its words as soft as wind, tempting Eve not with force, but with curiosity. It doesn't threaten her. It invites her to see, to taste, to know. That single act would change everything, marking the serpent forever as the one who unlocked hidden truth. But this is not just about the Bible. The snake shows up again and again in places untouched by those scriptures. It coils around the roots of sacred trees in Africa. It guards treasures in the temples of India, sleeps beneath the oceans of Norse myth, too large for the world to hold. It dances down the steps of Mayan pyramids, dressed in feathers and stone. Even in the dreams of indigenous elders, it slithers through the spirit world, carrying messages from the other side. In West Africa, the serpent is not evil. It is balance. The rainbow serpent, they say, holds the sky and the earth apart. Without it, the world would collapse. Among some tribes, a snake is seen as the spirit of the ancestors. If one crosses your path, you pause not in fear, but in respect. You let it pass. You lower your voice, because you never know which ancestor might be looking through its eyes. In India, the serpent is divine. The Naga lives in rivers and caves, half snake, half human, watching over the land. Lord Shiva, the god of destruction and rebirth, wears a cobra around his neck not as a weapon, but as a symbol of wisdom and control. The serpent here is sacred. It sheds its skin and becomes new again. And that's what it teaches humans, how to let go, how to die and still live, how to awaken the power inside you that has always been sleeping. Far to the north, in the icy lands of the Norse, the serpent becomes something massive. Jarmangander, they call it, the world serpent. So big it circles the earth, biting its own tail. They say it will rise during the last days and fight the gods in the final war. But until then, it sleeps deep beneath the sea. It is not just a monster, it is time itself, a circle with no end, a force too ancient to destroy. In the Americas, the Maya built temples in honor of the feathered serpent, god Kukulkan. On certain days of the year, the sun hits the pyramid just right, and the shadow of a snake seems to slide down the stone steps, returning to earth. It's not just a clever trick of light, it's a reminder. The serpent connects sky to ground, gods to humans. It is the message and the messenger. Even among native tribes, the snake appears again, in dreams, in stories told by firelight. Some believe it guards sacred water. Others say it teaches the way of patience, of stillness, of striking only when the moment is right. The snake clan in some nations holds the knowledge of weather, of planting and rain. Where the snake moves, the balance of nature follows. So we come back again to that tree, not just the one in Eden, but the many sacred trees found in every culture. The serpent is always near them, wrapped around their roots, resting in their branches, watching those who come close. Trees hold life, growth, secrets, and the snake. The snake is the keeper of those secrets. But why? Why does this one creature appear everywhere, from desert to jungle, from temple to village? Why is it in our oldest stories and our quietest fears? Perhaps it's because the snake, more than any other creature, carries a lesson we never stop needing. It teaches us about duality, life and death, wisdom and danger, creation and destruction. The snake is both feared and respected because it shows us something true, that not all things are what they seem, that knowledge comes with risk, that power in the wrong hands can be deadly, and in the right hands, divine. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase, it waits, and in that stillness, it dares us to look deeper, to ask questions, to listen, even when it makes us uncomfortable. In stories, The serpent is not always the villain. Sometimes it is the one who opens the door, the one who tests us, the one who offers choice, to take, to taste, to know. So what does the serpent really represent? It represents truth, the kind we're not always ready for. It represents change, even when we're afraid. It represents power, not through noise, but through knowing when to be silent. It is death, and it is rebirth. It is ancient, and it is now. And maybe that's why it never goes away. Because every time we tell a story, draw a line, plant a tree, question the world we've been given, the serpent is already there. Waiting, watching, whispering. This is Myths and Tribes, and the story never ends. Subscribe.